Hey, hey, hey! Happy Hump Day, all you beautiful radio listeners. Thank you for dropping in on our little happy hour. We appreciate you listening. If you are watching on YouTube, here's a hand gesture just for you. You're welcome. You can join us on the YouTube chats. If you're listening, hit us up on the fan text line 503-864-6326. That spells 503-2GO-FAN. Love to have you join the conversation, share your thoughts, ask questions on any topics, or send producer Casey Smith all your reasons the Steelers will lose the AFC North. Mine is Aaron Rodgers. Case, happy to have you in. What's your reason the Steelers are going to choke away the division?
Paying, 40, 60, 80 million to D linemen that don't get home.
Oh, blaming TJ.
Gotta get home. It's TJ, it's Highsmith, it's Herbig, it's Benton, it's Hayward.
Well, it's everybody. It's everybody and it's nobody.
You can't have 6 takeaways one week and then not play football the next.
Well, yeah, you can. I just watched them do it. I literally watched it in back-to-back weeks.
Yep.
So, yeah. You seem a little down about this whole thing.
Well, that's just Steelers fandom.
Is it? Is it? It's tough being a Steelers fan.
They beat the Colts, the best team in the NFL, and we're all of a sudden headed to a Super Bowl, and then that happens.
They just keep going to the playoffs every year. They never have losing seasons. You know how hard it is to be a Steelers fan. You ever try to be a Blazers fan?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. At least the Steelers got a couple championships. I believe it's 6.
Yeah, road to 7.
Okay. Pretty good. That's pretty good. It's Wednesday. We're only a day away from Take Your Pick. If you're just joining the show, every Thursday we do an interactive NFL Pick'em. There is a live form up now. If you go on to X and go to @FanHappyHour, you can check my personal Facebook page, or you can go to any of the fan socials, and you can find the form. You can put in your picks now. You can wait till tomorrow, where Casey and I will do it live. You can play along with us. Our goal is to get to 1 million participants. Last check earlier today, we're at 16. So join, share with a friend. We're almost there. Just need a few more.
Just a few more.
Just a few more, and I think we can get to it. Question for you. I think I just broke something on our microphone here in the studio. Do we still have to do All-Star games?
Do we even watch All-Star games anymore?
Well, the NBA, if you haven't heard, the NBA is coming out with a new format, which I don't know if there's a record for most consecutive years with a new format for a pointless basketball game, but it seems like they do this every year. They make little tweaks to the Major League Baseball All-Star game. Baseball season feels very much like a marathon. They find the halfway point in July. Everybody goes around. It's a day at the park. I'm kind of fine with that one. They tried to make it important, and they're like, it's kind of dumb because they didn't want to do all the extra innings. Who cares if it ties? They've kind of figured out home run derby, fun. Nobody of any consequence has done the slam dunk contest in forever. Today's NBA suggests the three-point contest would be the more entertaining one. Well, they'd start bringing in women from the WNBA to make it intriguing enough to get people to watch. Now they're changing the format again. It was team captains, and then they're looking at the world versus the U.S. or whatever it is. First of all, they're doing it wrong because they're saying the game this year, the new format, will be 3 teams playing 1 4-quarter game with each of the quarters featuring 2 different teams playing in a round-robin style until they get to the 4th quarter, where the winner of the round robins will then play the 4th quarter, somehow taking 2 bad ideas, which is taking the round robin from soccer and making it where it's multiple teams and trying to get more people in there to get it competitive. And then instead of just making it into a little tournament, they just try to cram it all into one game. The whole thing makes no sense to me.
That sounds like probably the worst all-star format of all time.
It's just so pointless. And I understand the arguments. If you want to have a moment in time, the idea of the all-star games for hockey, for basketball, for baseball, is that it's one time where you can get the best players all together and get all of the team executives and all the managers and the agents and everybody, the entire world comes in. I know that the cities that host it, there's a ton of money. Now, this might be a bitter Portland Trailblazers fan because Portland's too small of a city to host an All-Star game. They don't have enough hotel rooms. How are we going to get all these people in there? I don't know how many teams you're going to have by the time you decide to have an All-Star game in Portland. But if you don't disperse it between the cities, the money idea of going, well, we can't just get rid of something that generates so much cash and sells so many jerseys and does all this great stuff. Listen, if you ain't going to share it evenly with your cities, I don't know why you're bothering with it. But the idea that you need an event to get everybody together, I'll tell you who's done a really good job with this is the NFL. They never hosted it in an NFL city. They used to send everybody to Hawaii, and then nobody wanted to play. So they're like, yeah, maybe we'll go to Disney World since we're good friends with ESPN, and we can talk with their parent company, Disney. We'll go down to the resort, and we'll play dodgeball and do all this. They are slowly getting rid of that. I don't know if you heard a couple months ago, they're going to move all of the All-Star festivities just to the Super Bowl week. They're not even going to pretend to do it in that shadow week in between the championship games and the Super Bowl. They're just going to go, let's invite all the best players to the Super Bowl and just have one big party. It'll be awesome. We'll all have a good time. That seems like a decent way to do it. But if you need another way, you know what else the NFL does really good? They throw a big old draft party. That seems like a perfect opportunity. You don't need to bring all the players. If it's just about having the meetings and the money and your host cities get to have a bunch of hospitality and you can fill up all the hotel rooms and everyone makes a ton of money, NFL draft is doing pretty well.
Yep.
Now, I get that the NBA draft is a round and a half of consequence. And you get to the second round, you're like, I don't know who any of these guys are. And then somebody looks at you and goes, I didn't know who half the guys in the first round were. And somebody else looks at you and you go, they're all from Europe. Why are we even doing this thing? Maybe you can figure out a better way to do it. You can get a comedian in there and you can have whatever your award show you want to do. Figure something else out. But playing an entirely pointless basketball game that is not really a basketball game, but it's actually a tournament because it's multiple teams and they're all playing and they're playing in a round robin. But if they all tie, then we'll just do point differential because we love soccer and we'll jump right in there and we'll do that. And hopefully we can get LeBron James and Jokic to try for a fourth quarter of a basketball game. Guess what? Not going to happen.
LeBron still has sciatica. Why are we trying?
I don't know if it's LeBron that they want. Who's the biggest star in the NBA right now? It's still LeBron. Yeah. Okay, I was right about that. But really, do we need him to try to validate like his entire season? You've put in this Emirates Cup tournament. You've got a midseason. I get that you're trying stuff, and I know any chance to make the floors and the playing surface uglier, go for it. Sounds awesome to me because nothing better than tuning in going, what the hell happened to the court?
What am I looking at?
Yeah, it's hard to watch a basketball game and it's a stupid thing, but you've done that. If you want to have a big party, make the finals a party. We've got the Emirates Cup. We're going to take a few days off. Everybody sit back, watch. Here's the tournament. Hey, all the managers and agents come out. We'll buy everybody very expensive food and everybody gets drinks and we'll put them on the corporate cards. It'll be fantastic. Can we just... You're a young guy, Case. You're a kid. You're the youth. Does this appeal to you? I'm an old guy. I get to be grumpy.
Not at all. I mean, this sounds horrible.
And the funny thing is the NBA, every time I tune in, they're trying to do things that have appeal. Here's one that I have to ask you about. Every time I go on to see a game and you get the pregame, the little video rolls, do you care what these guys wear when they show up to the arena?
Not even a little bit.
Who's that for? Is that for the Instagram models they're trying to impregnate?
That's got to 100% be for your Instagram models. It's got to be it's just for social media in general.
Yeah, but like who is the audience on social media?
Are
there people that buy? If you're listening to this right now and you buy into that, do you want me and Casey to do a little fashion so you can see what we're wearing as we walk into the studio? Man, what's that handbag that he's carrying? Is that a Merce or is that a man bag? Or is that just genuinely a purse? Ooh, look at that jacket. I wonder how much he spent on that he's only going to wear one time because there's really no other reason to have it besides to walk into an arena.
Or that giant sweater that hangs over both of your arms.
Yeah, that's a whole thing too.
Even though you're a 6'10" basketball player.
Yes, that is an amazing thing. I would genuinely like to see one of those sweaters just to see how huge it would be on a guy like you or me. Because you put it on a 7-footer with a 9-foot wingspan, and it's covering his hands, and it's dragging on the ground. You're like, that's a big sweater. But then you forget that the guy is double the size of a normal human. What are we doing?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing on the fashion, Russell Westbrook and other players, they've built brands off of fashion, so there's a lot that goes into that.
But can't we just be happy with the money that we have?
But can we just talk about, the sports and don't rub it in that this Wizards player got $30 million guaranteed?
All these Wizards players.
All these Wizards players.
It's ridiculous. Look at the new frames on the glasses that don't have lenses he's wearing. Those must be awesome.
The pieces of plastic.
Well, listen, you and I do not get it. I thought you sitting there with your cool khaki Yankees hat would have some fashion sense and at least be able to help me out. You have done nothing. I was hoping that you would put some resistance to my old man rant, and turns out you're with me. So
no, I'm with you 100%.
Well, that sucks. I was hoping that I was wrong, but damn this curse of always being right. Should we do some in case you missed it?
I think so.
All right, let's do it. All right. In case you missed it, major turbulence in Philadelphia this week as Eagles face a double dose of chaos. Star receiver A.J. Brown just posted a desperate live stream telling fans to trade him in fantasy, and newly acquired All-Pro corner Jair Alexander has stepped away from football entirely. All this in the last 48 hours. For any other franchise, that's a 5-alarm emergency, but for Nick Sirianni's Eagles, they call it a normal Wednesday. Just roll with it. Nobody rolls with the chaos better than the Eagles. If I see a sideline fight between two of their own players this weekend, I'm picking them to repeat as champions. How about you? Does that give you more confidence with these Yahoos?
I think an A.J. Brown personality issue is what they need.
I think he is a personality issue. Well, listen, he plays wide receiver. Somebody has to be the diva of all divas in the league.
Something about those receivers in Philadelphia.
Well, just in general, I will say that, yes, Philadelphia has a little bit of a reputation. Devontae Smith has a Heisman Trophy. He doesn't seem to be this disgruntled.
Yeah.
Plays for the same offense, I'm pretty sure. Who knows? In case you missed it, Cleveland Guardians manager Stephen Vogt was named American League Manager of the Year for the second consecutive season, becoming the first skipper ever to win the award in his first 2 years as a manager. The Guardians overcame a massive 15.5 game deficit on July 8th, the largest midseason turnaround to win a division in history. Wait, wasn't he also the guy that led them to a 15.5 game deficit? Congratulations to the pilot of the year, Stephen Vogt. He damn near ran the plane into the side of a mountain, but at the last minute, he saved everyone. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Oh, and don't forget, the Tigers had an all-time collapse. To keep the pilot analogy going, that's like saying the pilot gets credit for the mountain moving out of the way.
That's a good one.
Thank you. My manager did not win. In the other league, manager for the Brewers, Pat Murphy, won the National League Manager of the Year. He is also a second straight winner, joining Bobby Cox as the only NL manager to repeat the honor. Murphy was very humble in accepting the award, immediately giving credit to the real reason for his success, pocket pancakes. Am I right? You saw that coming and you still liked it, didn't you?
I did. I knew it was going on. Smile was on my face.
That was maybe like the best non-baseball story of the entire season. The manager just comes out, he's like, why do you think the Brewers are doing so well? Oh, you know what it is? It's these pancakes I keep in my pocket to eat midway through the game. Dude, if you had that called, I'm going to give you all the money in the world.
Carbo loading.
In case you missed it, Pirates general manager Ben Cherington issued a statement that star pitcher Paul Skeens will not be traded this winter and is going to be a Pirate in 2026 despite ongoing trade speculation. Skeens is 23 years old. He led the major leagues in 2025 with a 1.97 ERA. Ben, that's great. Any thoughts on getting a full-time DH who hits better than 180? Is that a thing that you're looking at doing? Any plans to increase the team's payroll to maybe just half of what Livy Dunn makes on TikTok? Can we just do that? Do not Felix Hernandez this guy. That's all I'm asking. Pirates, please go out, spend some money. You've got one of the best shows in baseball. Just surround him with anything.
Or let him be Garrett Cole, and I'll see you in pinstripes in a year.
Well, he'll probably end up being that way. It won't be long before he's like, oh, you guys don't have $50 million for your entire team, and that's what I should be making in a year? Maybe I'll...
Time for the pinstripes, Paul.
All right. And finally, in case you missed it, following a difficult stretch, including a 6th consecutive road loss, Warriors power forward Draymond Green stated that his team lacks the commitment to winning that characterized their previous successful seasons. He said, come on. If we're going to win, we need to stop rolling out my old ass for almost 30 minutes a game. Am I right? You can't be part of the problem and complain about it, you freaking hack.
Is he turning into Kendrick Perkins?
Yeah, but he's still playing. Like, you're supposed to get done and then be like, I don't like what these guys are doing. You're one of these guys!
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, well, 2:30, we're going to do the little mind-reading segment we call the subtext. Listen to press conference audio, decide what they're really saying. Don't forget to play Take Your Pick. It is available on X at Fan Happy Hour, on my personal Facebook page, on all the fan socials. But right now, we need to get to the Daily Buzz. We do it next on the Fan Happy Hour. This is 105.1 The Fan.
Here's your host, Luke Anderson.
If I seem distracted at all this week when I'm talking about sports topics that are not the Seahawks and Rams, it's because all I'm thinking about is Seahawks-Rams this weekend. Yesterday we talked about how similar these two teams are. Today we'll just do a quick look at just their offenses. Quarterback Sam Darnold, number one in both ESPN's QBR metric and Pro Football Focus's gradings. Number two, Matt Stafford for Pro Football Focus. Stafford is number 6 in QBR. Sam Darnold has a NFL low 10 sacks allowed. Offensive line for the Seahawks has allowed just 10 sacks. It is the lowest mark in franchise history through 9 games. Matthew Stafford has been sacked only 14 times. Seeing a pattern here. Jackson Smith-Njigba, 1,041 receiving yards through 9 games. That is the 5th most since the merger. He's averaging 115.7 yards per game, putting him on pace to break the NFL single-season record. I know there's 17 games, and I know that other guys did with 16. He's still on pace for it. Who's right behind him? Puka Nacua. He's only played 8 games, is averaging 96.9 yards per game. You with me? You with me on what's going on so far? The rushing attack. Somebody told me, and this is why I started looking this up to begin with. I just ran into the Darnold, and I knew about Jackson Smith-Njigba. Somebody told me, they're like, well, yeah, they're pretty balanced, but the Rams got a much better rushing attack. Do they? The rushing yards per game for the Seattle Seahawks, 114.3. The Rams, 113.4.
And Seattle's doing it with 2 backs, not just one.
Well, they are. Well, they're both mixing it up, but the Rams are a little bit more efficient. They're still in the bottom half of the NFL. They're running for 4.1 yards per rush. The Seahawks, 3.8 is the 4th worst in the NFL, but the Seahawks do rush the ball a little bit more, to the tune of twice per game. So you have 2 offenses that are pretty much identical. Would you like to hear the defensive comparison?
Yes, please.
Tomorrow's happy hour will have the defensive comparison. Tonight, the Blazers will be at Smoothie King Arena to take on the New Orleans Pelicans. That will be tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Trailblazers 5-5 overall. Pelicans 2-8. The Blazers are 0-2 to start their current 5-game road trip after losses in Miami and a heartbreaker in Orlando. Missing for the Blazers, still Scoot Henderson, but it looks like maybe a week away from a possible return.
So we were talking about it on The Firm, and Danny's saying that that's just because of the media cycle, but he's kind of aiming towards Christmas for Scoot.
Whatever. Isn't he part of the media cycle?
Yeah.
Okay.
ESPN updated it where every 4 weeks or so you get the update.
There'll be an update. Scoot Henderson, still not back. Matisse Thybulle out, Blake Wesley, Damian Lillard, and of course Chauncey Billups will not be there. The Pelicans are without Fat Zion Williamson, Skinny Zion Williamson, and DeJounte Murray. Did I get? I can't. DeJounte.
Silent D.
Is it? I think it is. DeJounte Murray. Jordan Poole. Or is that? Wait, no. The J. Do we say the J in Jordan Poole?
I think you did.
Okay, Jordan Poole will be out. So not only do you get a terrible Pelicans team, you get them without any of their guys, as to be expected. Hopefully they can salvage this road trip at least a little bit because they go to Houston and Dallas next.
The Buzz.
Mariners manager Dan Wilson finished 3rd in voting for the American League Manager of the Year award. He guided the Seattle Mariners to their 4th division title in franchise history in his first full season. 50 total points in the voting, 2 first-place votes. Mariners went 90-72. It was also pointed out in the article, the Mariners covered the most mileage in Major League Baseball with 50,308 yards or miles this season. And I'm like, well, yeah, don't they do that every year? They are in and outpost. You know what Major League Baseball should do to like ease this travel stress just a little bit? Team in Portland. You with me?
Sounds nice.
We should do that. Seattle Mariners also losing one of their key pieces in their front office. Assistant General Manager Andy McKay is reportedly leaving the organization after 10 seasons to accept a role as field coordinator with the Cleveland Guardians. He'll rejoin Stephen Vogt with the Guardians. He was a bullpen coach for the Mariners for one season. McKay was one of the guys instrumental in rebuilding the farm system for the Mariners. So if you don't know the name, Andy McKay, he is a guy that really helped Jerry Dipoto figure out, like, hey, our farm system stinks, and now among one of the best in baseball. But he said that he really wanted to just get back to coaching. The Mariners did not have a spot for him in the dugout, so this gives him an opportunity to go and be the field manager with the Guardians.
The Buzz.
Always want to say Indians. It's not the Indians, so don't say that. That would be an error. New York Giants have moved on from Brian Dable. They've also moved on from Russell Wilson as QB2. Jackson Dart expected to miss this week's game against the Packers because Brian Dable kept running him headfirst into the defense. The guy was in concussion protocol 4 times this year. Like, let's do another designed run for our rookie quarterback. Let's get him out there. Seems like a good idea. There are like rumors that was more of the reason that Dable got fired than anything else, was the ownership just going, what are you doing? We think we have a guy. Would you stop?
And then they lose Cam Scatabo, and
they already lost.
continues
They
to
already lost Scatabo. So yeah, but running your guy head first into everything, not smart. So who do they turn to? Jameis Winston.
That's a W.
That's a tell. Eat some W's. 36-51 as a starter in his career, but Winston's always been pretty good. As soon as he reemerges, he's one of those guys that is definitely flash in the pan. They're going to put him out there, and if nothing else, it'll be fun. The one thing that was kind of interesting about Winston's season this year is I think he had every opportunity to leave if he wanted to. Apparently, he wanted to stick around. He enjoys the mentorship role, great relationship with Jackson Dart. He was QB3 pretty much the entire season behind Russell Wilson. No mention of Russell Wilson being a great mentor. That's a guy that still wanted to get starting reps. Winston has been nothing but a great teammate. So once you get rid of Dable, you get rid of Russell Wilson. You've already gotten rid of Jackson Dart unintentionally. So should be an interesting outing for the Giants as they take on the Packers this weekend. Do we have time for one more? Oh, this one was great. I just want to get to this today. Philadelphia 76ers forward Justin Edwards had a career night last night. Did you see this?
No, I didn't.
He's averaging 4 points a game, busted out for 22. That included 3 straight threes in the fourth quarter. Sixers upset the Celtics. Fantastic. This is a young
Had the hot
kid,
hand.
21 years old. He goes on a little bit of a celebration that includes some expletives. Post-game, one of the reporters goes up. He's like, hey, what exactly was it that you said there? Dude's mom is at the press conference leaning over. He's going to get a beating if he says what that he said again. I'm like, oh, no. Just fantastic. That was my favorite story of the day. With that, we walk over to the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Casey will tell us what we missed.
First on the Fan, on this day in November 12, 1970, the Oregon Highway Division blew up a beached whale with dynamite, leading to an explosion that sent chunks of blubber flying for yards.
Yes, they did. Not for yards. That thing came down and crushed cars. They're lucky it didn't kill somebody. Sperm whale, like 45 feet long or whatever it was, washed up on the beach. I was down at Long Beach, Washington last spring. Went down to get some razor clams. Beached whale.
Really?
It's kind of trip. You know what they didn't do to that whale?
Put 20 pounds of dynamite in it?
They did not try to blow it up with dynamite. They just left it there. Apparently, there are reports going back to the 1920s that the carcass of a whale would expand with gas until they would explode on their own. And some genius in the 70s, no doubt testing out his tolerance for reefer, decided that they should just pack the thing with dynamite so it would blow up on purpose instead of on accident. And if you watch that footage...
Yeah, the news report is great. We watched
Paul
it
Lindman?
in class in high school.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
I was somewhere recently And it was an unexpected. I must have been in Seattle. Maybe I went up for the Seahawks game, and somebody was rocking the Eugene Exploding Whales or whatever. Because once a year, I think it's the Eugene Emeralds.
Yeah.
Their minor league baseball team. They become the Exploding Whales for like a couple games or a game or a series or whatever it is. But somebody rocking the Exploding Whales jersey, and I was just looking at that, going, I might need to get me one of those just as my new travel shirt. Like, I wouldn't wear it anywhere in the Pacific Northwest. I would only wear it when I traveled, like,
On the
to the
coast?
East Coast or, like, out of the country.
Yeah.
So people would just see it, and they're like, "Scusi, maybe my English is not so good. Exploding whale?" And I'd be, yeah. And then it would give me a chance to tell that story.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I might just have to do that. Thank you for bringing that up.
For
For
more
everybody to remember.
Yep. For more sports scores and stories in 30 minutes, I'm Casey Smith from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at WarrenAllen.com.
The home of prime time. Thanks for listening.
You know, I never like bad tackling, don't get me wrong. Last week we knew going in it was going to be a challenge. A-Shane is elite, one of the tops in making people miss. So, but that said, we were in position to make tackles and we didn't make it. So going back to the drawing board this week, and it's something that if you don't work it, you can't expect to get it fundamentally. So every week we work it. Every week it's on the to-do list, and it'll continue through the rest of the season.
That is head coach of the Bills, Sean McDermott, and a man that will never forget 9/11 for a different reason than rest of us. He doesn't seem to like that the Bills aren't tackling as much and the coordination of the hijackers.
What? Okay.
What does that sound like to you?
Well, no, it sounds to me like a guy that is extremely frustrated that they lost to the Dolphins last week. He is looking at it and going, we should have absolutely crushed those guys. I know the guy is fast. If you're there, friggin' tackle him. He wants to go and just blow up his guys. But I think he's figured out that that's probably not the best approach. They've got a very tough game this weekend. Bills Buccaneers should be a really good one. I know Baker Mayfield is on a campaign to be possibly an MVP candidate towards the end of the year. But the bad losses for the Bills have got to go, and they need to figure out a way to get better tackling, because otherwise you're going to have the Buccaneers absolutely tear them up. As injury prone as the Bucs have been all year, as they start to get healthy in games like this mid-season, everybody's going to be a little bit chipped up. So I think you got to go out as the Bills and win this one. I don't know if they do.
Yeah, I don't know if they do either. That loss to the Dolphins last week was really tough.
Inexplicable.
Allen had a few bad red zone interceptions and just turnovers.
Yeah, he did not look sharp, which is, I mean, he's your whole offense. So then if your defense can't tackle, what are you supposed to do? So figure it out.
The message for Trev in our conversation is to just go cut it loose, let it rip, and see what happens, right? You don't need to be Jordan. Point guards, facilitators, distributors, that's what we need, and that's what we talked about yesterday.
That was Jaguars head coach Liam Cohen rehashing a conversation with his golden locked quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Sounds like he's saying that he doesn't want his quarterback trying to do too much.
He doesn't want his quarterback screwing things up for him. He's got a pretty good defense. He's got some skill positions out there with ETN and whoever else that can go and do something. Your whole life, Mr. Lawrence, you've been able to do it all by yourself. Stop. Get out of your own way, dude. Just be good enough. Is that too much to ask for? The Jordan comparison got a little bit weird in there, but Jaguars have another tough one this weekend. They're taking on the Chargers, and the Chargers at 7-3 haven't had much of an offensive line to speak of most of the year, but they're starting to figure things out and figuring out a way to get guys blocked. Justin Herbert's everything that Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be, but neither of these guys have had a ton of experience or success, I should say, in the postseason. You had the huge comeback. What was it, 27-0? The Jaguars came back on the Chargers a couple years ago. So I don't think these are teams that particularly like each other, but I think this will also be a big one for the Jaguars because they need to try to keep pace with the Colts if they can. Otherwise, they're going to be on the outside looking in. It's going to be just as tough for the Chargers because their division has a really big matchup this weekend. They got Broncos and Chiefs, which we'll talk about in a second. But I think if the Jaguars can't just stay within themselves, especially from the quarterback position, the Chargers are going to go in and get another one.
Yep, and you are right. The Jags fell into a 27-0 hole off of 4 interceptions from Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, and then came back and won. It's wild.
They're first in the division, and they have a couple games on us. And so it's huge for the division, and that's always our first goal is win the division. And so it's a really good football team. There's no way around it. And so we have to go out there and play our best football, and I don't think we've done that yet. So after this bye, let's go out there, put a great week of practice together, and find a way to win in a hostile environment against a great football team.
You'll recognize that voice as a Sesame Street character and Jake's from State Farm's side piece. That's Patrick Mahomes there. It sounds like Mahomes and the Chiefs are all business going into this weekend with a tough matchup. Are you hearing the same thing?
I hear a guy that hates the Broncos. He absolutely does not think that they should be first in the division. The wild thing about this year is the Broncos right now are 6-2 in one-score games The wild thing is that they've had 8 one-score games, but they're winning them. But the wild side of that is the Chiefs are 0-4 in one-score games. So they win big or they don't win at all, which is totally out of character for them. They don't want to go into Mile High and lose again. After Peyton Manning left the Broncos, I believe the streak was 16 straight victories for the Chiefs over the Broncos. The last 2 years they've split, which was 2 losses at Mile High for the Chiefs. So this game is super important. The Chiefs dug themselves a little bit of a hole. If they get into the playoffs, I'm not really worried about them, but they just can't really seem to get a consistent streak going. But there is one streak that is worth looking at, and I'm sure you know about this. Coming off of a bye, do you know what Andy Reid's record is?
Is he undefeated? Or is he like
22-4.
Wow.
Even more dominant when the team he's playing is not coming off of a bye, which is the case for the Broncos. He is 21-2 in those scenarios. This is as close to a must-win as you can have for the Chiefs at this point in the season. So they have to go out and win, and I think they do. I think they go out and roll. We both picked the Raiders to beat the Broncos last week, and it didn't come to fruition. I will put all my chips in with the Chiefs, and I think they'll be just fine.
I think I have to go with Denver on this one.
Oh, shut up.
Well, here's why. I'm a purist, man. You take something else out of the game, then we're taking the next thing out of the game. Then you're taking another thing out of the game. Then pretty soon we don't have pads anymore. And then pretty soon you're only playing 30 minutes. And then pretty soon that's why I don't want to take it out of the game. It's something, a team's got a niche. They found something. They're good at it. And it's for everybody else to stop. And it's unique and it's physical. And more than anything, I just don't want to take anything else out of the game. I just want to leave the game alone.
That was Lions head coach and future endorser of testosterone supplements, Dan Campbell. He's defending the tush push. He clearly doesn't want the play to go away. What are we feeling?
Oh, he wishes he invented the tush push. He loves the violence of the game. The only thing he wants out of the game is the forward pass because it's too safe. Get it out of here. Let's just run into each other head to head. Since he didn't invent it, he wants to be the guy to figure it out. I think he likes the challenge. I think that's awesome. I mean, you've got the Lions-Eagles this week. There's a lot of good games and trying to figure out who it is. But the Eagles, you can put them right in the same camp with the Broncos. They have not looked good, but they keep winning. They get in close games, and they figure out a way to come out on top. So if you're the Lions, who do not want to be a team that is playing on the road in the playoffs, they've got a pretty good home field advantage in Detroit. That place gets real loud, plus they plump in music and cheat and do everything that they can. But I think that the Lions want to go out and put the Eagles in a situation where that play is irrelevant. I think that's the best defense against it is if you're down by 22 in the third quarter, one thing that's not going to be on the play sheet very often is the tush push. So I think Dan Campbell will probably have a strategy to go out there and neutralize that play if they use it early and late. I think their strategy is just go and outscore them. The offense for the Detroit Lions is as good as anybody. Their big play capability is great. Jared Goff completing like 74% of his passes or something like that. Again, I think the Lions are going to roll in this game. But I hope it's not just a bad taste in my mouth after watching that Monday Night Football game that was barf.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the nose. Dan Campbell's way of stopping it is going to be just outscore them.
I think that's the best way for everybody to stop it. I think Dan Campbell's going to have some goofy guy lays down like Minnesota have or whatever. I think he likes the challenge of the play, but I think he likes it a lot more when it's a 4th down and 1 in the first quarter with 7 minutes left in a tie game, 3-3 or whatever, than he does at the very end of a game.
Who knows? We might see Penei Sewell run the ball.
That would be awesome.
I've had that mindset to beat Buffalo, kind of ignore the noise. Know we got to get some more attention and some more media. Just know that, it's any given week in this league, Jets coming off a win, and they got great players. So we got a tough task, and they're coming here with, wanting to beat in division. We're wearing, whatever jerseys, and they're going to, have something to play for, and they still do. So they're going to be, a tough challenge, and I think it's, like I said, any given week. So you got to prepare on a short week and kind of win that battle.
That was Patriots quarterback, MVP favorite, Drake May. One game at a time. It sounds like they're doing exactly what he needs to be doing. How do we feel about him?
I didn't know that's what Drake May sounded like. That guy gives me zero confidence. That's a
didn't know he
guy
had a
that is
list.
terrified of his head coach, which it is Mike Vrabel. He is terrified of upsetting the Patriots way, which has been pretty effective. But man, he sounded so uncomfortable in that. Didn't it sound like when he said the uniform thing, he's like, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that. So stupid. They said don't say anything about the uniform. It's not about the uniform. I think they're cool though. But I mean, yeah, that's gonna be really awesome."
He's got
like
a
this
little
is
Napoleon Dynamite in him.
dude. He's got a whole ton of it. Except for he does have the arm strength to throw it over that mountain. So he is a combination of Uncle Rico and Napoleon Dynamite. It is fantastic. And give me a break. You're playing the Jets. You better beat them by 100. If they don't go out there and absolutely house the Jets, I don't know what I will do with this NFL season. I have taken this long to believe that the Patriots are for real. And even if they're not, they should still kick the living hell out of the Jets.
Yeah, they should
It's gonna
run
be
for
terrible.
200 yards.
It's
against
Thursday
this
night
Jets team.
football, so things get weird, but Drake may maybe go and he will not be a broadcaster at the end of his career.
Yeah, that'll have to tighten up.
Whew. That was a rough one. All right, that is your subtext. If you have different thoughts on how those audio pieces sounded, feel free to text us or send us a chat on YouTube. Right now, we need to get to one more for the road. We do it next. It's Happy Hour on 105.1 and The Fan Sports Network.
See
All right, we're only going to give you one take on this. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Fisher in studio with us. Heard our commentary on the exploding whale. Thank you.
It's a great tradition in this beautiful state of ours.
Everybody loves it, but you are going to attempt to read your very favorite line from the broadcast. You've got one chance at this, Joe. Go for it.
Personally, one of the best newscast lines of all time.
Please.
That the blast blasted blubber beyond all believable bounds. Look at that.
Thank you. Fantastic.
One take.
Fantastic.
Did you share the text that came across?
Oh,
the
no.
text line?
That is Casey. Casey, what are people saying on the text lines? We've got one specifically about the broadcast of the exploding whale, which I loved.
It says the reporter in that exploding whale video is now a high school baseball umpire. And then a minute later, it sent a text that says, he's got a bad strike zone.
Don't they? Well, when you say high school
Paul
umpire,
Lindman.
Yeah, don't we have to assume that is a bad strike zone?
Well, I mean, Paul's got to be what, late 70s at this point. Maybe eyesight's not as great.
Well, listen, if you had a great,
but his diction is amazing.
Thank you for that.
78.
I appreciate that. Anything else that people are saying, Casey, that we need to address right here, young man? Joe, thank you very much. I appreciate you jumping on.
Hey,
that was fantastic.
Like I said, on a holiday like today, it is my honor. It is my honor to jump in.
You have it marked on your calendar.
Yes.
Casey, what are they saying, my friend?
We do have fans that are saying that they do need a video of me and you walking through the glass doors, doing our best NBA walk-in impression.
All right. Well, hey, you're on the show tomorrow, Friday, and on Monday.
Yep.
I'll video you. You video me. We will do our NBA recreation. Who should really be doing it? Isaac Ropp wearing, Formula One or something today, looking sharp. So we'll see how many of the fan personalities will take on the tradition of showing off their, would you call it their fit? Is that what the young people call it there, Casey?
I'd call it the fit.
Okay, we'll get our fit videos out there. All right, with that, let's do hundreds of bagpipers gathered in Melbourne, Australia to claim a new world record for the largest assembly playing the rock anthem, It's a Long Way to the Top. It was 374 bagpipers. They set the new world record previously held by Bulgaria, assembling 333 bagpipers. The oldest member of the crowd was 98 years old, and this was called the Great Melbourne Bagpipe Bash. Casey, what did it sound like? They went and played this at the spot where the original 1976 music video was played, just down the street from where AC/DC shot it. Could you tell if somebody was way off on this, Casey? Like, if one guy was absolutely ruining it, would you have it?
I could only pick up that it was AC/DC about right now.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to the song, I mean, it is pretty long and drawn out. Bon Scott, the original lead singer, was the bagpiper on that track. There were members of a pipe and drums group that played with AC/DC 49 years ago. They got to be part of it. One of the fans traveled from Columbus, Ohio, and waited outside the concert venue starting at 4:50 a.m. Would there be any congregation of people that if you could be part of a world record that you're like, I have to be there?
Maybe people playing a harmonica at one time.
Oh, there you go.
Because I do own a harmonica.
You own you don't play it, but you own a harmonica.
I own it, do not play it.
All right, well, that works. Casey, thank you for filling in as the producer. Excellent work. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the show. And, of course, thank you to Joe Fisher, who just came in here and blabbered about blubber for a minute. And, of course, thank you, Isaac Ropp. We're all done for now. Bye-bye.